Good day! Welcome to our Practical Research 1, and that is Qualitative Research. Our lesson for today is about selecting relevant literature. To our most essential learning competency, the learner selects relevant literature. And for our objective today, you are expected to select relevant literature. Let's start for review. What I know. And for your directions, read the following sentence carefully. Choose the letter of the best answer. Number 1. Which of the following is a primary source of literature? A. Essay on artwork gallery. B. Book analyzing absenteeism. C. Article critiquing the piece of art. And D. Diary of a working student. The correct answer is letter C. Article critiquing the piece of art. Number 2. Why is literature review significant? A. It gives readers easy access to research on a particular topic by selecting high-quality articles. B. It provides poor and unsatisfying starting point for researchers beginning to do research in a new area by forcing them to summarize. Letter C. It allows researchers to copy and replicate someone's research to make their study much applying and rewarding. And letter D. None of this. The correct answer is letter D. None of this. For number 3, one of the important skills that you need to learn in doing a literature review is called blank. A. Proper location. B. Proper citation. C. Proper identification. And D. Proper examination. The correct answer is letter A. Proper location. Number 4. Which citation style is applicable in the fields of psychology, education, and other social sciences? A. American Psychological Association, APA. B. Modern Language Association, MLA. C. Chicago Manual of Style. And D. All of this. The correct answer is letter A. American Psychological Association, APA. Number 5. The following statements describe the significance of citation in research except A. Gives credits and acknowledgement to previous literature used. B. Avoids plagiarizing someone else's works. C. Does research in an ethical way. D. Makes research more credible and reliable. The correct answer is letter A. Gives credits and acknowledgement to previous literature used. Number 6. Which of the following statement is correct? A. Synthesizing information from relevant literature does not involve citation. B. Integration of materials from several sources that relates to your research problem is significant. C. Making guide matrix, outline, or grid is discouraged since it is a waste of time. D. The less materials to be used is the better since it allows research to review fewer. The correct answer is letter A. Synthesizing information from relevant literature does not involve citation. Number 7. Which of the following set of tips is encouraged to use in synthesizing information from various materials? A. Reading, analyzing, and evaluating 1 to 2 materials. B. Copying statements word for word without citation. C. Avoid using citation and referencing in doing literature review. Letter D. Using guide matrix, outline, and concept map. The answer is letter D, using guide matrix, outline, and concept map. For number 8, the following statements show significance of synthesis in review of literature, except A. Research involves incorporating many sources to understand a research question. B. Sources support subtopics to prove the research problem and/or answer it. C. Synthesis integrates from 2 or more sources to demonstrate how research works together. D. Replicate materials as it is helpful and usable in answering research problems or questions. The answer is letter D. Replicate materials as it is helpful and usable in answering research problems or questions. Number 9. The following statements tell what literature review allows researchers to do, except A. Relate previous works in context of their research problem to others. B. Copy and replicate someone's work and research. C. Selects necessary materials in designing research methodology. And D. Compare the various arguments, theories, methods, and findings expressed in their research. The answer is letter B. Copy and replicate someone's work and research. For number 10, which of the following literatures best fits with the research problem? Lived Experience of Batang Ama. A. Journal of Values Education Teacher. Letter B. Autobiography of a Successful Farm Daughter. C. Diary of a Teenage Father. D. Interview of Clip of Medical Worker. The correct answer is letter C, Diary of a Teenage Father. Now, let's proceed to your next activity. What's in? Activity 1 is KL Share Ko Lang. Make a Facebook status of your answer. Use the hashtag #IsKLPracticalResearch1. Make sure your answer will be written to your activity notebook. For your activity 2, what's on your mind? You're going to list down an interesting topic that excites you to explore. Example, dancing. Is it the dancers or the dancing styles? Now let's proceed to what's new. This is activity 3. Think of it. Write your reactions about the questions below. Have you ever received criticisms in terms of writing an article, review, or research paper? Or criticisms you have received from writing your stand or post on Facebook, Twitter, or social media? Make sure your answer will be written to your assignment notebook. Now, let's move on to what is it? Who am I? Hi there, I am a literature review. I provide a scholarly context for the argument you propose and support in your paper. Doing me involves process of studying what has been written on a particular topic. I am used to give an overview of materials you have explored while finding or formulating a topic. Additionally, I allow researchers to identify, locate, and analyze documents containing data or information related to researcher's topic. For you to recall me, I am a summary of key materials you have reviewed, and I am your literature review. What are my tasks then? As a provider, I provide information of knowledge on a topic. And as a summarizer, most research areas are broad. I allow identification of key issues within a broad research area so that a definition of an area of interest can be pursued. As a finder, I find relationship to previous works in context of its contribution to your topic and to other works. As a checker, it is not nice to copy a previous research. What I do is I help you make informed choices about research topic within a scholarly context. And finally, as a selector, I select what has worked before or not worked in previous research. This may help you to provide necessary materials in designing your research methodology. Getting to know more. I am good if I cite the material you have used to help you define your research problems. I am good if I compare the various materials expressed in your research. I am good if I contrast the various arguments, themes, approaches, and controversies expressed in your research. I am good if I critique materials that you present in your research that includes theories, findings, and methods. I am good if I connect various research studies you reviewed. Now, what are the sources of literature review? We have primary sources. This provides first-hand information that is closest to the object of the study. Embody all sources that are original. We have secondary sources. Provide second-hand data or information. Sources that are non-original, written about primary sources. We have different types of literature by Wallace and Wray of 2006. We have theoretical literature. This describes expected or anticipated relationships about the way things happen. We have research literature. This refers to a report of a systematic investigation that has been undertaken in need to answer a specific problem. And we have empirical research. Deals with the research that was done through the observation and measurement of the world around us. What else? We have practice literature, written by practitioners about their field of expertise. And also we have policy literature, tells practitioners how to act in a set of circumstances. What's more? For your activity number 4, self-check. Based on the knowledge you have gained, accomplish the activity below. Identify which are the examples of primary and secondary sources. Write letter P for primary sources and S for secondary sources. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Number 1, letters. Number 2, biography. Number 3, autobiographies. Number 4, diaries. Number 5, artifacts. Number 6, report on an original experiment. Number 7, book analyzing various cultures. Number 8, interviews. Number 9, article on ethnic group, Tagbanwa. And number 10, piece of art critic. Let's check your answers. Number 1, letter P. Number 2, letter P. For number 3, letter S. Number 4, letter P. 5, letter P. 6, letter S. 7, letter S. 8, letter S. 9, letter P. And 10, letter S. For your activity 5, self-check finding my pair. Listed below are the examples of literature. Your task is to find its pair. For your directions, match the first box, types of literature, to second box, which is the examples. Write the letters of the correct answer in the third box, which is the correct pairing. So for the first box, we have the types of literature. A, theoretical literature. B, research literature. C, empirical research. D, practice literature. Letter E, policy literature. For second box, we have examples. A, classroom rules and regulations. B, guidance counselor record. C, amount of water used in watering plants every day. Letter D, how long will it take to travel from Rojas to Puerto riding a bicycles? Letter E, books on the region of the universe. Let's check your answers. Number 1, A and E. Number 2, B and D. Number 3, E and A. Number 4, C and C. Number 5, D and B. For your activity number 6, which is relevant or irrelevant, written in the box is a sample of qualitative research problem. Below, it is a list of possible sources of literature. Your task is to identify which of these samples are relevant and irrelevant to the given research problem. Bullied versus bully, a qualitative study of students with disabilities in inclusive setting. Number 1, journal on the effects of bullying on students' performance. Number 2, video clip of lived experiences of working students. 3, guidance counselors report on students' behavior. 4, yearbook including student awards. And number 5, thesis on effects of teenage pregnancy. Let's check your answers. Number 1, relevant, since it relates to the research problem. Number 2, irrelevant, since it is focused on working students and not related to the research problem. Number 3, relevant, since guidance counselors' report on student behavior might be helpful in the research problem. Number 4, irrelevant, since it is about students' awards, not bullying. For number 5, irrelevant, since it is about teenage pregnancy, not bullying. For next activity is what I have learned. Grasp me. Number 1. A review of the related literature provides a concise summary of information and data findings that describe current knowledge and facts. 2. It provides foundation of knowledge on a topic. It identifies areas of prior scholarship to prevent duplication and give credits to researchers. It helps select appropriate material in designing your research methodology and find relationship among researchers. Number 3. A good literature involves 5 C's: cite, compare, contrast, critic, and connect. 4. There are 2 sources of literature review: the primary sources, which contains the first-hand information, and the secondary sources, which contains non-original information. 5. There are 5 types of literature. It includes theoretical literature, research literature, empirical research, practice literature, and policy literature. What I can do? For Activity 7, let's reflect. Reflect on the following questions carefully. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Number 1. Do you think the research is complete without a literature review? Why? Number 2. If you were the researcher, in what stage of the research process should the literature review be conducted, and why? Finally, for your assessment, this is multiple choice. For your directions, we're going to choose the letter of the best answer. Write the chosen letter on a separate sheet of paper. 1. Which of the following is a secondary source of literature? A. Interviews. B. Letters. C. Artifacts. D. Art critic. Number 2. Which of the following statements describe theoretical literature? A. Shows expected or anticipated relationships about the way things happen. B. Deals with the research that was done through the observation and measurement of the world around us. C. Written by practitioners about their field of expertise. D. Tells practitioners how to act in a set of circumstances. Number 3. Which of the following statements describe policy literature? A. Tells practitioners how to act in a set of circumstances. B. Deals with the research that was done through the observation and measurement of the world around us. C. Shows expected or anticipated relationships about the way things happen. Letter D. Written by practitioners about their field of expertise. Number 4. Which of the following statements describe empirical research? A. Written by practitioners about their field of expertise. B. Deals with the research that was done through the observation and measurement of the world around us. C. Shows expected or anticipated relationships about the way things happen. D. Tells practitioners how to act in a set of circumstances. Number 5. Which of the following statements describe practice literature? A. Shows expected or anticipated relationships about the way things happen. B. Deals with the research that was done through the observation and measurement of the world around us. C. Written by practitioners about their field of expertise. And D. tells practitioners how to act in a set of circumstances. Six. Which of the following statements describe research literature? A. Written by practitioners about their field of expertise. B. Deals with the research that was done through the observation and measurement of the world around us. C. Shows systematic investigation that has been undertaken in need to answer a specific problem. And D. Tells practitioners how to act in a set of circumstances. Number 7. Which of the following is an example of research literature? A. Classroom rules and regulations. B. Guidance counselor record. C. Amount of water used in watering plants every day. D. How long will it take to travel from Rojas to Puerto riding a bicycle? Number 8. The following are examples of policy literature, except A. Classroom rules and regulations. B. Philippine Constitution. C. Bank agreement and policy. D. Class record and report. Number 9. Which of the following characteristics describe a good literature? A. Cite some of the materials used. B. Contrast the various arguments, themes, approaches, and controversies expressed in research. C. Critiques materials presented in research subjectively. And D. Disconnects the various research studies reviewed. Which of the following 5 C's describe a good literature? A. Cite, compare, contrast, critique, and connect. B. Cite, collect, compare, craft, and cast. C. Connect, craft, cast, critique, and cite. D. Collect, compare, craft, cast, and contrast. Now let's check your answers. For number 1, the answer is letter D. Number 2, letter A. 3, letter A. 4, letter B. 5, letter C. 6, letter C. 7, letter D. 8, letter D. 9, letter B. And finally, for number 10, letter A. For your additional activities, this is Activity 8, Priority List. You're going to make a list of possible sources of your literature review essential in your research problem. Do this on your activity notebook, and that is 1 up to 5. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoy and you learn something about our lesson. Thank you. Once again, this is your teacher in Practical Research 1, Venus B. Bravo. Have a nice day ahead, goodbye, and God bless.